Welcome. My name is Joseph Anderson, and today we'll be discussing automating dropshipping in QuickBooks. So a little bit about me. I'm the CEO and founder of Sync with Connects, and I've been working with QuickBooks since 2011, and I'm the creator of the Connect software. And since that time, I've helped set up hundreds of companies with QuickBooks Desktop and the online editions. So what is the workflow for drop shipment in QuickBooks? I will be discussing using sales orders, invoices, and payments to automate the process. Whenever someone asks me about drop shipment, I give them the story of my desk. About 5 years ago, I purchased a desk from a local furniture store, and the store said that we don't have the desk in stock. They ordered from another furniture company out in Ohio, and the desks are actually made to order. So what they did is they created a sales order. They did it all by hand, and they took down the information, put on my desk SKU, and they sent that sales order in their system, and they created a purchase order from the sales order that they sent to the furniture company in Ohio, and then I left a 10% deposit. Now, since the desk was not in stock, the sales order is a proper transaction type. If the user created a sales receipt or an invoice, then it would have taken the inventory out of stock, which they didn't have. So after about 3 months, the desk finally arrived. I put down a 10% deposit, and the furniture store created an invoice, and at that point I paid the additional 90%. So the store invoiced me, and I made the final payment, which closed out the sales order. So how does all of these systems work together? What's the connection between the Connects for QuickBooks and your ShipStation and your QuickBooks Enterprise? In these next slides, I'm going to show you how all systems connect together and how the workflow appears. Here's a diagram of how the sync works. The user will create a sales order in QuickBooks. The user will tool to sync it to their shipping platform, which is ShipStation in this case. The user will ship it from ShipStation. Our tool will sync it to QuickBooks, locate the sales order, update it with tracking details, and create the invoice to close it, and optionally mark the invoice as paid. Here's a sample invoice that our tool has updated. It locates the order based on the order number field in ShipStation and QuickBooks. You can see that we just have a basic test item, and then beneath it you have the shipping item with the method, the tracking number, and the shipping date on the top right. Another popular workflow is that users will sync the order when it's paid, then they'll wait for it to ship, and that will create the invoice to close it. So it will be a sales order before it ships, and then when it ships, it's an invoice that closes with the payment. This is really popular with a lot of our Shopify users. In my example, you'll see that the furniture store had no automated system. Everything was done by pen and paper. But in this example, we're going to show you how you can use QuickBooks to automate the drop shipment process using sales orders, invoices, and payments. So in this scenario, the user opens QuickBooks, they get a phone order, perhaps somebody walks into the furniture store, and they say, all right, put the desk into the computer. So the user opens up a sales order, types in the desk SKU, saves it, creates a payment for 10%. I do the deposit in this example. And once the order ships and it's actually received at the store, then they want to close it. In my example, you can see that the sales order was made first. I took a payment for the deposit, then the invoice was made later, and then there was a duplicate payment. Our software can associate invoices with existing payments as long as the numbers on the invoice and the payment will match. Here's a screenshot of what we automate. You see I've opened a sales order in QuickBooks, and top right I click the create invoice, and we create the invoice for all the items on the sales order. Then when our automation is complete, when the order has shipped, we'll create the invoice and then either associate an existing payment if one exists, or if you just sync the sales order without any sort of payment information, we'll create the invoice and the payment. And you can see here on the right of the picture that the invoice is fully paid, the sales order is closed, and the invoice has no balance. One advanced feature of Connects is closing sales orders after they ship. So you create a sales order in QuickBooks, you put it in ShipStation using Connects. Once it's shipped, you want to close that sales order with an invoice and then invoice a customer the amount of the sale. Connects can sync the sales order, invoice, and payment out of box, but you'll need to add some settings and rules that say to pull the order twice, once when it's synced before it's shipped and once again when it's synced after it ships. The first part is to log into Connects, click Sync Orders to QuickBooks, and under the status field, enter awaiting shipment and shipped. This will pull the sale twice, both before and after it ships. Under Orders to QuickBooks, scroll down and choose Sales Orders, Invoices, Payments if Paid. On the left, click Rules, My Rules, and click Add, and choose Map Field based on condition. This next rule will tell the software to create the sales order in QuickBooks, but do not create the invoice and payment unless the sale is shipped. In this example, I add a rule called Import No Invoice to Close Sales as number 2, and number 3, I just say the status is not shipped, and you can leave the what should the value be blank. Connects will create a payment once the invoice closes the sales order. If you want to create no payments, add another rule, and the action is mark invoices unpaid, and say if the selling channel is manual orders, then mark it as unpaid. You can leave the last field, what should the value be, blank. Connects to QuickBooks can help automate the drop shipment process, so there's no need to use the pen and paper. Our tool can create sales orders, invoices, payments if paid. It works with deposits, and it can associate payments with existing invoices. And our tool can close sales orders if the order ships. So after this, if you're still experiencing sync issues, what's the best way to contact us? If you go to help.synkwithconnects.com, you can click on the submit a ticket on the top right, and you can just detail some of the errors that you have. What sync dates did you try? Show us any duplicate products, stock changes that failed to sync, and we will respond within 1 business day. Thank you.